Welcome to Hey Dr. Sue. So people submit their sex questions to me anonymously, and once a week I post one question and one answer. Do you have a sex question you've always wanted answered? Go ahead and check out the description for information on how to submit it anonymously. This week's question is, why do some guys get so excited off of boobs? So there are a lot of things that impact what people find sexy and get excited by. I'm sure that someone who's from an evolutionary biology background would say something about healthy breasts and the ability to feed children. But I'm going to focus more on the sex education side. Our culture teaches people what's considered attractive and sexy. It's one of the many reasons why we consider to be the ideal, quote unquote, male and female body changes over time. In this country, we have conditioned straight men to believe that boobs are sexy. Think about a woman in media or on social media who's considered sexy. In any given image, how much cleavage is she showing? Sure, people use clothing to highlight certain parts of their body, whether it's their butt or their figure, but what's on display is often cleavage. A way we know that this part of the body is sexy is that we will sometimes see it covered up after the fact. I'm noticing this more and more in social media, where an image has something added on top of the cleavage to block it from being seen. And telling people something shouldn't be seen is often enough to pique people's curiosity and want to see it more. And this starts young. It starts with dress codes, which are often aimed at female bodies. Seriously, check out the dress code rules for middle schools in your local area. And if you can find it and feel comfortable doing it, post a link to it or just the part about boobs as a comment to this video. There's usually something in there that's a mention of breasts or cleavage. So we teach people when they're young that this area should be covered up. So of course people get excited when they see it. And boobs are part of the sexual experience, and for many men, they see boobs as kind of a stepping stone to something more. Think about the traditional baseball analogy of sex play. Second base is anything above the waist. So boobs are not only sexual things, but they bring up these ideas of what can come next. And for the record, this is one of the many, many reasons why I'm not a fan of the baseball analogy when it comes to sex play. And I would love someone to ask me a question about that. What's always interesting for me is that we mark boobs as like this step in sex play, but what we hear from a lot of women is that male partners don't really know how to stimulate breasts in a way that feels good for them. Women often report that men do things to female breasts that feels good for the men, but not so much for the women. We could blame this on a lack of education on how to stimulate nipples and boobs. We could also blame this on the fact that sex play often centers around men's pleasure and not women's. And a lack of education and centering men's pleasure would both explain why men don't often know how to make a lot of sex play enjoyable for women. Until next time, be safe and have fun. Did you like that video? If so, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. That way you'll know when new videos come out. Also check out the description to find out how to find me on Instagram, Medium, and Threads. And make sure to check the description for links where you can submit your own sex question.